What's up guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant and welcome to the channel where this evening I'm going to be telling you what are the worst things about this 55-inch Samsung Q80T. Now, quite often when I do these worst things about it videos, I get a lot of negativity in the comment section. Reason for that is a lot of you guys don't understand that as well as doing the worst things about it video, I do a best things about it video. So I've done that already and I will leave a link at the end of this video, and I will also put a link hopefully up in the corner there which you can click on and watch that video, and I'll suggest you watch that along with this video so you get an overall picture of what this TV is like. Also, as I always say, these are just my personal opinions on what are the best things and worst things of this TV, so again, please just respect that in the comment section. Once again, I've got to say a massive thanks to the guys at box.co.uk for hooking me up with this 55-inch Q80T. And if you would like to check out the specs, the latest prices, or pick up one of these stunning TVs after you've watched the pros and cons or any of the other Samsung range, then I'll be leaving a link in the description that will take you to the guys at Box. And don't forget, they offer a free 5-year warranty on TVs like this, and they price match the major retailers, so no reason to not buy from them. Okay, now I think it's time we crack on and see what are the worst things about this Samsung Q80T. Now, the first worst thing about this TV is the dirty screen effect. And I don't know if you guys can notice it just up the top there, but as it is moving around, it's a little bit hard to see at the moment, but it is darker up the top there. And as the camera is panning around just there, you can make it out. Now, I know this does often affect like all TVs like this, but you know, it's an expensive TV at the end of the day, and I do feel it is something that is worth pointing out, that, you know, despite paying all this money, you're still not guaranteed to get a perfect display. You know, you can see it just up there now. And, you know, I know you have got that panel lottery, but this one has got a bit of dirty screen effect, and there is a good chance that you too will suffer dirty screen effect to some extent. So that is the first worst thing about this TV. Next worst thing about this TV is, and by the way, this is in no particular order, and that is the fact that this TV does not support Dolby Vision. Now, this, I feel, is a real shame, because the TV does include one of my favourite apps, which is Apple TV. But unfortunately, the content on Apple TV, most of the films and that, are in Dolby Vision. And it is a real shame that Samsung have decided not to go down that route. I'm guessing this is just cost cutting, but I think it's wrong to do that on such an expensive TV. You know, this is £1,600, and you would have thought that they would have included Dolby Vision with it. Other manufacturers do, but Samsung have stuck to their guns and have gone down the route of HDR 10 plus instead, which I feel is a real shame, and I know for a lot of people out there that could potentially be a deal breaker. So that is the next worst thing about this TV. Next worst thing about the Q80T is to do with the remote controls. Now, whilst I love the fact that they actually give you two, they give you this sleek design, minimalistic one like that, and it has got a microphone on it so you can control stuff with a TV, do searches and whatnot. With your more basic version, it has got no microphone, and I just feel that's a real shame. Even though it is a sort of more budget basic remote, I think they should have still put a microphone on there, because it is a pain in the backside. If you want to just use this one, if you want to do voice searches and things like that, you can't. You have to grab that second remote. So it's almost like you've got to have both remotes out all of the time. So that is the next worst thing about this TV, and that is that both remotes don't come with microphones. Next worst thing about this TV is the power cable. Now, I did include this as one of the best things about this TV because of the fact that it is easily removed, but the negative thing about it is the fact that it is only 1.5 meters long, or short in this case. And whilst again it might seem a small thing, you know, this is a £1,600 TV and they only give you 1.5 meters of cable. Why? I know it can be easily changed, but you shouldn't have to be spending out even more money at this price point. You know, I think you should be getting at least 3 meters minimum. 1.5 meters probably isn't going to cut it for a lot of people. So I feel that is just being a bit penny pinching. And I think most people would probably benefit from a slightly longer cable in the box. So that is the next worst thing about this TV. Up next on the worst things about the Q80T is the touch controls underneath. Now, it's a bit awkward for me to show you guys, but there is a touch button just there. It's one single button, and if I just show you now, just press on that, it controls some basic functions of the TV. So if you've lost a remote and you want to control the TV, then you can do so by pressing that. But the downside for me is the fact that they previously had a bunch of directional controls under there. So it was forward, back, left, right, and like an enter button. And that was just a lot simpler to use. With this one, you've got one button, so you have to do a series of different sort of presses to get the desired result, be it turn up the volume, change the channel, and so on. And I just think that this is a step back. Again, some people think it's really not a big deal, but I just think it was easier before, and I don't see why they've gone backwards with this. I think it was better the way it was before. So that is the next worst thing about this TV. Next up on the worst things about the Q80T is the weight of the TV. Now, once again, I use this in my best things about it because this thing is really solidly built, a bit like a tank. And whilst, you know, it sort of oozes quality because of the weight of it, it is a negative if you are on your own. Maybe not so much for the 55, but if you were to maybe go for the 65 inch, if you are living on your own and you've got to get it out the box, put it on the stand and that, to be honest as well, even if you could be a bit older and you live on your own and you've got to put this 55 inch one on a stand, it could be a little bit of a struggle. Again, some people might say that's, being a little bit silly, but I think it's just worth pointing out. I don't want people to be disappointed if they get this TV home. They have it delivered or whatever, and then they're going to struggle to get it out of the box. So even if you don't agree with it, at least it's giving you guys the heads up to expect that potentially you may need a hand to maneuver this TV around. So that is the next worst thing about this TV. On to the final worst thing about the Samsung Q80T, and that is the price. Now, whilst I think this is a cracking TV, and I do genuinely think that the pros outweigh the cons, I do think it is priced a little bit too high, especially compared to other TVs that are on the market for the same price. Like I said, it is great, but I feel that Samsung are being a little bit greedy on the pricing, really. But the good news is TVs always drop like a stone after a few months anyway. So, you'll probably save yourself a few quid if you hang around anyway. But personally, like I said, I think it is not the sort of best priced TV out there. So that is the last worst thing about this TV. There you go then, guys. Hopefully you appreciate my honesty with my best things and worst things about videos. And if you have, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, then maybe think about subscribing for more of the same in the future. So thanks very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.